Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of In the Booth, where we interview voice actors and actresses of machinimas, fan dubs, abridged series, and any online web series. I'm your host, JD Carr, and today our guest is CharlestonVO. So thank you, man, for taking the time out of your day to do this little interview.
Thanks for some reason wanting me on. That's
It's
pretty
fine,
cool.
it's fine. So, yeah, so I guess first things first is, well, tell us a little about yourself. Yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Um, I make a really dumb. Make a few really dumb abridged series with a few people. My main thing that people seem to like is Death Note parody that I do with my good friend Bell Warrior, aka Prescott, a good buddy of mine. We met when we were 12. So we've been like best friends ever since, and then. So he's my main co-writer for most stuff. But I've met like a whole bunch of people through the community, and I've worked on a few projects with other people, and yeah, I make dumb anime parodies basically.
All right, that's cool. That's cool. So I guess what got you into voice acting, or what got you into picking up a mic and saying like, I want to do like a funny parody of this series and all that stuff.
Actually, voice acting came after. I voice Ryuk in Death Note, and that was really only because we were pressed for time. I wanted to get the video done, and I couldn't find anyone who wanted to voice him. So voice acting for me was more like it came as like as a secondary thing. It was more like, oh, no one else is going to do it, so I guess I'll do this myself. And from there, like I ended up loving it. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it as much because I've always been more interested in writing than anything else. But yeah, so yeah, I kind of like ended up voicing my first character for myself just out of because we needed someone to voice the character, and everyone else that I had on the project already was voicing someone, and so I just kind of said, screw it, I'll just do this myself.
Yeah, it's always like those like pressing for time and all that stuff. I hate when that happens.
Yeah.
So do you remember your first ever voice role?
That wasn't myself. Like
that was like for
that I
someone
didn't write
else.
myself. Yeah, it was one of the first people in the community I met was Matt Rocks 101, who unfortunately isn't really doing anything in the community anymore. But the first ever role I had in someone else's video was his oh my god, what was it called? It was an Evangelion parody.
Oh, nice.
I think it was called Gendo and Friends, and I was like extra one or whatever. And it was such a small role. I had like 2 or 3 lines, but I was super psyched just that someone else wanted me in their thing. That was back in like, it was over 2 years ago now.
Oh wow,
So
nice.
it was a while back. Yeah, like I remember for some reason I was back in my Blue Snowball days. When I didn't, I never bought the mic thinking about voice acting. I bought it more for like Skype calls and whatever. So I wasn't really equipped for decent voice acting. But yeah, it was just one of those things where I got the message from him, and I was like, "What the fuck? You want me in your thing? Okay, cool." And yeah, even though, I mean, it was like a small role, right? It was like 2, 3 lines and like
Yeah.
just side character 1 or whatever. But I was psyched about it, and that kind of got me addicted to wanting to voice in other people's stuff.
Sweet. All right, here another fun question for you. So from then till now, what has been your favorite role or roles to have been in, or been a part of? Sorry,
Oh man,
you can have as many as you want.
yeah. This is kind of a hate love thing with one of my favorites. I did a fairy tale parody at one point, and I voiced Jalal, and I made him a huge stoner character. I made him just a hardcore stoner.
Sweet.
And from there, that's when I started getting typecast as stoners. Every time I get a message from whether it be Buddy VA, Grimjack, whoever, they're just like, "Hey, can you do your stoner voice for this character?" And it's cool that people are getting me to do that, but at the same time, it's like,
I hate this
you know,
role now. Stop it, please.
yeah, like I love it, but like I can do other stuff too, you know. So
Yeah, but we want you with the stoner role, so can you
yeah,
do
exactly.
this?
Exactly, yeah. Like I did a Dead Man Wonderland parody with Buddy. We do like it. We released an episode the last 2 Halloweens, and we were writing it, and Buddy's just like, so you should voice this character with a stoner voice. And I was like, oh, that's great. Okay, cool. And then it hasn't come out yet. I know it's written and recorded for, but Buddy VA and Grimjack do a series called Hunter X Dumber, and it was actually the first thing I recorded for of 2016, like in January, and it never came out. They got like bigger stuff going on right now, but
yeah.
This time Buddy wanted me to do a completely different voice, but Grimjack convinced him to make me do the stoner voice for the character, and it's just kind of taken off. Like all my friends, all my friends with smaller channels are coming at me for the stoner voice, and it's just like, I think my favorite roles though are the ones that are like totally against my typecasting. Like I voice the male lead in 2 series right now. One that the first episode came out, Fake Zero by Dr. Applejuice. I voice Kiritsugu, and I get to not be a stoner, which is super exciting. And then Mew Venus, who this is her first ever project. She's been voice acting for years and stuff for Toradora Randomness, which is Mike Dillon's series, and Haruhi by My Toaster's Retarded. She's voiced in like a bunch of stuff, and she's finally starting to work on her own series, and I'm voicing the male lead in that. So like I'm actually starting to get some roles that aren't my stoner stereotype, but yeah, like, I mean, I guess as far as like a standout role that I've had, I'm kind of rambling here. This is ridiculous. Like my favorite role I've had from somebody else. Oh man, I don't know. That's tough. Honestly, I'm having a lot of fun with Dr. Applejuice's series, Fake Zero, and I'm really excited about it going forward. It's a lot of fun to record. He's a really just piece of shit character from what I can gather so far. He's a little rough. He's not the nicest dude, and that's really exciting because I usually play like the super chill out, like I love you man stoners. So
yeah,
anything different from that is pretty exciting for me.
All right, cool. Oh, here's another fun question for you. So, so I'm guessing you've been in a lot of Skype calls for like online voice direction, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, any funny stories to tell when you're recording lines or when you're about to record lines or anything about that?
Here's another thing that I recorded for a long time ago that still hasn't come out. I won't say what it is because I don't know if he wants people to know, but I was recording it was another extra character who just screams one line for something that Grimjack69 was working on. I don't know if it's still coming out at some point. I hope it does because I loved what I saw from it. But my one line was I just screamed this one line, and I won't give it away just because I don't know how much he wants to let people know about it. But the word "fucking" was in it. We'll just say that. And like my parents are super cool. My parents, like I still live at home with my parents. My parents are super cool with me screaming, swearing, whatever. Like they don't care at all. What I didn't know was that they had company over.
Oh God.
And my room is directly above the kitchen, and they were eating with the company in the kitchen. So I went downstairs. Like they had gone, and my parents were just kind of looking at me.
Oh.
I was like, "What? Oh yeah, no. You know, so and so was here, listening to you scream. Oh, that's good. Awesome. I'm glad I knew that when I was happening." Or my grandma was over. Actually, no, this is when my grandma lived with us for a little while. And she was when she was living with us. I was doing. It's always when I'm screaming. That's when people are around, like within proximity to hear me. Yeah. It's just like a lot of stuff where I'm screaming, but specifically that one where it was just a really rude line, and I had no idea that there was company over downstairs. That was. Other than that, I mean, it's. Other than that, I usually record when as few people are home as possible, just so I'm not annoying people, because I typically get a lot of loud lines. So I've avoided embarrassing or funny stories for the most part so far.
All right, cool. All right, so we're gonna diverge that topic for a bit. So here's another fun question. I keep saying another fun question. So I'm guessing you've seen like a lot of shows, like anime, cartoons, video games, and all that stuff, right?
Sure. I mean, like, I actually kind of started to get into anime after abridging. It was mostly because, like, all of my friends that I've made in this community have been, like, pushing shows on me, and I've been watching stuff because of them. Even now, I've really only seen, like, super mainstream stuff. But I've seen enough to have a decent understanding of a lot of it.
Mm. All right, so question to you is, who's your favorite voice actor or actress? It could be from anything. It could be from a cartoon, anime, or anything.
Oh, man.
You can have as many as you want.
Sure. Oh, man. Jeez. I love Travis Willingham. Even more than just as a voice actor. He just seems like a really cool dude.
Yeah.
Who else? Like, I'm trying to, like, name a bunch of people that, aren't clear, like, everyone loves them. Like, I could be like, oh, Yuri Lowenthal, or, like, Todd Haberkorn, Vic Mignogna. Like, it's a bunch of people that everyone's like, oh, of course we love them because they're fucking awesome,
Yeah.
But, like,
like, not the ones that don't get the spotlight as much, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Jeez, I don't know.
Give me a hint, like, what character or what show are they in?
It's a good show. I mean, this is the issue. I've seen, like, only mainstream stuff, right? So, like, for the most part, I've only seen mainstream stuff. So it's mostly mainstream voice actors. It's mostly just, like, the big names.
Okay.
It's really boring. I'm like working. I have this list. I mean, like, I've seen, like, maybe I haven't completed them all, but I've seen, like, maybe 20, 25 anime series. But I have a list from people of stuff that I should watch. It's like over 100 series long, and I will get to them eventually. But for now, I've only seen, like, big name stuff, so I really only know big name voice actors. I love Laura Bailey. I don't know who else. I'm blanking right now, man. I think if I was to say a favorite, absolute favorite, it'd be Travis Willingham.
All right, cool. Sweet. Actually, speaking of lists, I remember someone actually dared me to watch the whole Monogatari series, and I checked, like, all the episodes. Like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna watch this series. There's so many episodes in this. I'm like, I'm not gonna watch this.
Yeah, a long series kind of freak me out because I'm like, either I'm gonna be convinced to watch through this whole thing and it's gonna suck, or I'm gonna get hooked and not do anything else for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So
Like,
yeah, I remember, like, way back in the day, I think.
Or watch anime.
Yeah.
Which of the two?
Yeah, I think yeah, I got, like, through, I think, 90 or so episodes of Bleach before I said, screw this. Like,
no more.
it got boring, so I was like, I got so many friends who are, like, into this, but, like, I can't. I just want to rewatch, like, FMA or something. So yeah. I'm really bad when it comes to rewatching shows. Like, I rewatch shows more often than I watch a new show. It's bad. It's bad.
It's not bad. Like, sometimes you gotta go back and, just relive those moments or just watch those favorite moments. So it's not bad.
Yeah.
So, you've worked with almost, like, a lot of people in the community, right?
Oh yeah, a bunch. At one point I was writing 5 different things with 5 different people all at once, and I'm never doing that again.
Oh.
That was dumb. That was impossible to keep up.
Hours on hours, and just people like, no, I think this idea would be better. No, this idea, no, and
exactly. Trying to schedule writing sessions with all those people is tough. But I loved it though. At the same time, I loved it. I loved all the people that I've worked with so far. That might just be because I'm really picky with who I work with, but as far as writing goes, like, I'll voice act for basically anyone, but as far as, like, actually, like, writing something or working on something, I'm pretty picky just because I have a really specific way of going about things. So
yeah,
I'm kind of hard-headed that way. Yeah.
It's because, what is it? Like, I kind of like envy you guys because, like, in my perspective, right? In my perspective, I think abridgers at times, they're kind of like one-man armies or sometimes two, but still, because you guys have to write that out, edit, do more Photoshop and all that stuff, and
Yeah.
mostly do everything on
Which
your
is why,
own.
like, I understand why people get upset when, it's like, it's been like a month, where's the next episode? But at the same time, they have no idea what goes into this. And they have no idea, like, I mean, I'm a full-time college student. I work part-time.
Hmm.
And, like, I don't have a lot of time. And what people don't understand is that I really do put most of my free time towards working on these videos. And, the reason I don't put a schedule for them or, like, set a deadline is because they aren't going to be any good that way. Um, it sounds ridiculous. I mean, the gap between the last two episodes of the Death Note series was like 10 and a half months,
Oi.
which it's rough. I mean, we released a few things in between, but like that's rough. That shouldn't happen. But at the same time, that's what it took for it to end up being as good as we wanted it to be. We are way too picky with our writing. We're way too. It sounds so dumb because like everyone in the show is stupid. Like there's no one that's really all that clever or takes a long time to write. It's just we are extremely meticulous with our stupidity, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's all that to say there's a lot of work that goes into it that people don't understand. Like if people who have tried doing this, they know what it takes to make something that's decent. And actually I don't know if that's true. There's a lot of really bad stuff that's out there. I mean, like bad in the way that like it doesn't take a whole lot to make an abridged series, but it takes a lot to
It's
make
just
something
like
that's decent.
everything is
I feel
becoming
like.
like too saturated now. Like now that everyone's getting a mic, here's a computer. Let's just start cutting things up
Yeah, I
and
mean, like it
stripping.
really, yeah, like I said, it doesn't take much to be able to make an abridged series. It doesn't take much time. It doesn't take much, like tech or whatever. But like, I'm insane, and I spend a lot of money on stuff for this. I spend a lot of time working on it, just because like I love it. I see like people might not understand how much I love doing this because it takes so long for stuff to come out. They're like, he's just putting it off. But really, I love it. Like it's gonna sound really dumb, but I mean like I'm taking script writing in college. Like I'm trying to become a professional writer. And it was doing these videos that, kind of pushed me to be like, I love this so much. I'm gonna drop out of my program and switch into writing because like it's just I love it. I want to go for it. Like it's like doing this has been so much fun, but also has taught me a ton. And it just takes forever. Like people need to know that it takes forever to do something right.
Mm.
And I encourage literally everyone to try it at some point, just so they kind of not just because I want them to understand what goes into it, but also because it's so much fun. And I didn't think it was going to be this much fun when we first started. Really,
Just go
like
through,
it's
like the process and all that stuff.
it's a blast. It's so much fun.
Sweet. All right. Oh, so have you ever been in Machinima before?
No, I haven't. I've only ever done a bridge series. I think
Oh,
I was in
sweet.
one comic dub, but that's it. It was in Joey Cat's comic dub, and I recorded that like I think like almost 2 years before it came out. Like I thought it was just scrapped, and out of nowhere she sends me a message like, "Oh, here's the thing." So
It's like, oh
I've
yay.
done, yeah, exactly. I've done one comic dub, and the rest are just abridged stuff. It's just parody stuff.
Sweet, because was it like I would say like the Machinima community is actually is more or less similar to the abridging community because at this point, like there was a golden age and there was a time when games were coming out and then things started to drift apart, and now everyone is starting to pick up capture cards and PCs and they're just doing. I'm not gonna say. Okay, yeah, they're mostly bad machinimas now, but yeah, we become too saturated at this point, especially in this time where everything is just handed to us and no one is doing anything creative anymore.
Yeah, I haven't seen a whole lot. My friends and I at one point wanted to try and do something with Destiny, but it never panned out. We just don't have the time. I'd much rather just play Destiny when I have time to play it rather than, turn it into another video production kind of thing. But yeah, I haven't seen a ton of machinimas. I understand them, and I know why. They look like they're probably a ton of fun to do. a lot of work for
Oh
sure.
yeah.
Like the good ones are a lot of work goes into them clearly. But yeah, I don't really know anyone from the Machinima community or anything like that. I'm really just in the hardcore anime parody community. That's about it.
Eh, don't worry. Eventually, someone will come your way. It's like, hey, voice with my Mishima and all that stuff. But yeah, one of these days.
We'll see.
One of these days. Okay. Speaking of which, so I know you've probably been asked this in so many of your live streams or any live stream you've been a part of, but like, where do you see yourself in like 5 years?
Oh man, that's actually a really good question. Ideally or realistically here?
Okay, let's do both. Yeah,
Do
idealistically and
both? All right.
realistically.
Ideally, not making a bridge series anymore. Ideally, either hopefully like, my ideal spot would be writing, being part of the either the writers group for a TV show or writing for my own TV show.
Hmm.
I really want to write for TV. That's the main thing for me. I'd love to try and write a movie, but I don't think I have the patience to do that. But yeah, like ideally working on a TV show. Hopefully writing. Realistically, 5 years from now, hopefully moved out of my parents' house. I mean, I'm only 20, but like, I'd like to be out of here. Fuck, I don't know, man. Realistically, getting writers for a TV show their coffee. I'll probably be like interning somewhere, maybe. I don't know. I'd like to be past that point 5 years from now. The main thing is that hopefully, I'm hoping in a few years from now I'll be so busy with work that I won't actually have time to make these videos anymore. That sounds really weird, I think, but I'd like to move on to bigger and better things, honestly. But yeah, ideally writing for a TV show. That's the big thing for me. I'd love to try and pursue voice acting for maybe not so much a career, but like a here and there kind of
Oh,
thing.
yeah, like
But
a little hobby.
yeah. But I mean, I'm not good enough for that. I don't think, and I don't have the patience to work on that. Just because like I'm already a much better writer than I am a voice actor, so I'm just gonna stick with that. I think. But
Alright.
yeah, that's that. Yeah, so hopefully writing for money would be nice. So
That's the dream.
that's the dream,
That's
man.
the dream.
That's the dream.
Alright, so I think we're nearing the end here. So, do you have any tips to anyone that wants to become an aspiring abridger or, I guess, voice actor or, pursue writing and all that stuff?
The first thing that I think of is you just make something. First of all, just make your first video. Make your first whatever it might be. Especially with a bridge series, there's so many steps to it. There's writing it, and then you're looking it over again when you're voicing it, and then you're looking all of that over again when you're editing it. Like there's so many times I've not had one video that I didn't hate by the time I put it out, just because like you go over all the jokes so many times. Like by the end of editing your video, you've probably heard or read your jokes at least a couple hundred times, and by then you don't know if it's funny. You start to hate what you made, and that's normal, but you need to release something. The only way you're going to get better is to finish it and go off of what you had before. Like I look at the first episode, I'm not trying to sound like I know better than people, because like I really don't, but I look at the first episode of Death Note and I hate it. I hate it so much. I had no idea how audio leveling worked. I didn't know how to do lip flaps properly. I didn't download the show. I screen capped it with what is it, Bandicam off Netflix. Like I had no idea what I was doing, and it's garbage. But it was from that I was able to improve. So like I know a lot of people who are like trying to make something. They're like, it's not good enough, I'm just gonna scrap it. Don't do that. Just make it. Like you got to start off somewhere, and whether your weak spot is writing or voice acting or editing, they all will improve drastically over the time that you do it. Like I was the worst voice actor. I'm still not very good, but I'm like I'm an okay voice actor, but like, I'm like, comparing myself to my buddies, like my buddies like Buddy VA or
Mhm.
Eric or Grimjack, Eagle, Ali. Like I cannot stand up to those guys. Like I can't do it. I can't beat them for any roles ever. But in the 2 years that I've been doing this, I've gotten way better. Not just voice acting. I've become a better writer. I'm a way better editor. Like I know what I'm doing with Vegas Pro or whatever. But seriously, just make something. Like that's really it. Just make something, because you got to start somewhere. And if the reason you haven't made anything is because you don't think you're good enough to make it, that's your problem. If you're not good enough to make it now, not doing anything isn't going to change that later on. Just make stuff. Seriously, like that's what people need to like. It's just so silly to me that there's a lot of people who want to do stuff like this when it's so easy. Like you don't need to spend $200 on a microphone and $200 on an interface and like a couple $1,000 on a computer or something.
Yeah.
That's just what I did because I'm fucking insane. I'm nuts. But like, just make something. It doesn't have to be good. You just got to start somewhere, and you're going to get better with everything that you do. Every single time you release a new video, chances are you improved on something that you fucked up on the last video. And you're just better off to just do it. Really, I'm going to get sued by Nike, but just fucking do it. Really. Just like, I don't care how bad it is. If you spent like 3 months on a script and the script is technically done, but you're still screwing around with it months later, just go with it. Because you need to get to the next point in the video. You need to actually make something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going on and on right now.
That's fine.
Just like, yeah, I mean, like, just fucking make something. Other than that, I get this question a lot, actually. People ask me what mic to buy for voice acting. The best thing I can say to that is, if you're just starting out, get a USB mic. Because like if you get a USB mic and then you realize, like a month later, I don't want to do voice acting anymore, that's cool. You spent like $100. You didn't spend like several $100s on a mic and then several $100s on an interface. That's insane. But if you know that you really want to get into voice acting, you really think it's something you want to do, focus on your recording area before you focus on your mic.
Mm-hmm.
Because my Blue Snowball would probably sound better in my soundproofed closet that I record in than my current really nice XLR mic in my bedroom, just because of the echo. Like, you need to focus on the environment that you're in. I think that comes before the mic. In my opinion, anyway, I think that's more important than the mic. Not necessarily if you're trying to get paid gigs and stuff like that. In that case, you got to go full out on both.
Mm-hmm.
But
just
you're better off to you're better off to soundproof a smaller area before the mic. Other than that, I don't know. I'm trying to think of other stuff that people have asked me in like live streams or whatever. Oh man, what else is there? Be careful with your torrents.
Yo, God, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, like, I buy most of the shows that I've done. Like, I bought Death Note on DVD before I even started doing the series. But there's a lot of expensive DVD ripping software, and the free stuff is garbage, so I just torrent it.
Note, I do not advise torrenting, but still, if it gets the job done, then...
If you're gonna do it, be careful.
Yeah,
don't torrent on your expensive computer. Torrent on your shitty laptop that you don't care if it gets busted. I'm trying to think of other stuff here.
Also, you don't need to get like very expensive editing software, because I hear people saying like, "Oh, I want to get the Premiere and all that stuff, Adobe Premiere and all that stuff."
Yeah, like
Vegas.
Perfect
is
example.
Okay.
Yeah, Vegas. I mean, like I have Vegas Pro. I got it for, I I got it on sale actually when I upgraded from Movie Studio to Vegas Pro. Best idea ever because masking makes everything so much easier. But perfect example is my toaster is retarded. He still uses iMovie.
Oh,
No,
sweet.
does he use iMovie? I think he uses iMovie. Yeah, he
Alright.
still uses iMovie. So like and that's the thing is that like if you're not like super into editing, just use don't use Movie Maker, but like you can use iMovie if you want. iMovie just seems like way better than Movie. I've never had Apple computer stuff, so I've never tried it, but from
It's
what I've
okay.
seen, it's way nicer. But yeah, if you want to spend a whole bunch of money, get Vegas Pro or Premiere or something. But you really don't need an amazing editing software to be able to do this. You don't need an amazing mic to be able to do this. You don't need an amazing, I don't know, writing scripts is the easiest part, I guess. It's the cheapest part.
Yeah.
Just, if you have to, screen cap off Netflix like I did when I first started, it doesn't matter. It's not expensive. It just gets expensive when you really want to go for it, like really make some quality stuff. And don't get into abridging because you want to be famous. Like there's way easier ways to be famous, and no one gets famous from abridging unless you're like Team 4-Star, Little Karibo, or the Something Witty guys.
Yeah.
Like, funny enough, the Something Witty guys don't act like they're famous. So it's Izzy and Mac. I've talked to them both several times, and they're like just like the nicest, most down to earth people ever. And like that shouldn't surprise me because like if you're famous from abridging, it means you're famous for making something that really isn't your own for the most part. You're famous in huge quotation marks for abridgers is like step away from the computer and who the fuck are you? Like,
Yeah. It's like, oh, I voiced this guy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you can't go to a job interview being like, listen, I can work in your office because I wrote this really great dick joke for episode 17 of my series. Like, it's just like, we're just all a whole bunch of random nerds who are making this stuff.
Just for the fun of
And
it.
yeah, exactly. So like, don't go into this thing that you're going to like take over fucking abridging or become famous from it. There's way easier ways to do that. You just have to react to our abridged series and you're way better off. But yeah, it's just don't go into it for attention. Go into it because it's a ton of fun and you meet a lot of really cool people and you get to work with a lot of really cool people. So that's that's it for that.
All right, wise words, wise words. So, Charleston, I'd like to thank you again for joining us in this episode of In the Booth.
Thanks for having me.
All right, bro. And this concludes this episode of In the Booth, and I'll see you guys next time. So, see ya.